Hello guys! In my previous videos you saw that we overhauled the suspension on the AE86 already a little bit, which was replacing the front shocks which were blown for some adjustable Cusco shocks and exchanging the rear blown short shocks for some long style shocks I had laying around, TRD ones, which were still okay. But now we're going to go the second step and fully overhaul the suspension and also lowering it, because currently we have long shocks in the back which doesn't allow us to use these short springs, because if you run the short springs with the long shocks your axle can droop too far and these guys can fall out, and we don't want that. So currently I'm running stock springs in the back, which makes the car ride super shit since they're way too soft, and compared to the stiff front it just drives super bad. And in the front we also can't lower the car because the springs are so short, and the shock, same problem, the shock a bit too long. So if we lower it more, the spring is gonna start to rattle around. So we got here the full overhaul kit to fix all of these problems. Firstly, we got the matching Cusco adjustable rear shocks together with some Roadstars shock covers that I printed myself, because these shocks normally are like open, so you know they can attract a lot of dirt and debris, but I want to keep them alive for a long time, so I printed these, which are just sleeves which can like slide over the shock body and keep them nice and clean. And these are way shorter than the long TRD style that they're in there currently. These are the same, I would assume, as the TRD short style. And yeah, this allows us now to run these. I believe they are TRD, but I couldn't find any writing on them, so they might be something similar. Run these short style springs that I had in the car before with the blown short style shocks. So that's really cool. That's gonna lower the back and make it ride a lot nicer. And in order to also lower the front, we got, where's the writing? We got Mitsuru Power, 326 power helper springs for the front, which will go together with these spacers under the main spring, which allows us to like theoretically lower the car by lengthening the spring, but these are super soft. These are 2.5K, and these are just gonna collapse once you lower the car down. So these are actively not gonna do anything in a static condition, except for the case that your suspension goes on full droop and you lowered your coil over further than the spring's length. Then these are gonna extend and keep the spring under tension, which allows the car to, or the shock to remain its stability and not make your tire wobble around or the spring get caught or something. So these are very common on modern day coilovers, but yeah, we're gonna need to modify them because my coilovers have a very thick body here in between. So these are not gonna fit, but I have an idea how I'm gonna widen this diameter, enlarge this diameter. I'll keep you updated on that, if that worked or not, because I don't just want to remove material because it's gonna reduce this wall thickness, which keeps everything a bit centered. Could also be okay, but I have a better idea. I'll see if it works. It's a bit of a hack job, but yeah, I'll keep you updated. And together for that, I also printed some TPU front. These are together, just like the rear, together a bump stop. So this upper part, basically up to here, is a bump stop, and the rest is just a dust cover for the front shocks, because I also want them to last a long time. So I also printed these out of the printer. These are going to slide over the front, and basically, if that would be your main spring, they just sit in here and gonna protect the shock from dirt and debris. I estimated the length a little bit because I'm building this before I actually take the shock out, but let's see, it should be fine. If not, I can always reprint them in a bigger size. And yeah, this is all gonna go in. Very exciting. I'm super curious to see how all that's gonna feel with equally stiff springs for the rear than we have in the front. Those are both two unknown spring rates to me, so I'll just need to try to find out if it works or not. But it drove fine in the beginning when the shocks were still okay. Before they blew and I ran these, it drove good, so I assume it should be okay. And we also gonna have nice adjustment in the back with these now, so we can really dial in the car. And yeah, also lower it, which is gonna look really cool. So let's go put them in. Okay guys, so sadly it's dark already, but I still want to show you. We got the shocks installed. It was a little bit of a hassle because, well, let me try to position the lamp a bit better. I can use my hand to show you. This little spring perch in between the helper spring and the mainspring didn't really fit, so I needed to grind down the outside of it to match this spring, because through widening it with my tool, I think I showed that, I 3D printed like a little slanted tool, and then I warmed up these, slid them over it to increase the inner diameter. But by doing that, the outer diameter got too big, but that was okay, so I ground that down, and I needed to grind down the inside a little bit as well. But now everything seems to work fine. As you can see, I winded down the suspension all the way, so I think since we had the spring perch, because this is the main spring, and previously we had the spring perch up here roughly, where the green one is now. These ones were up here, so this one was under full tension, but now it is still under full tension, or at least under 2.5K tension from the helper spring, but this point, which previously was here, can compress roughly to here, so we got like 1 centimeter of additional down movement. And you can see the gray part in here. Once the suspension is compressed, the dust boot also has a very good length, so I estimated that pretty good. Right now I took the wheel off because when I was driving home yesterday, the car or the steering wheel was a little bit to the right when driving straight, so I had that problem previously where the shock inside the original shock body tilted a little bit because it wasn't tightened down properly, so I printed a little spacer to go in there and everything, and I thought the spacer might have broken and this got some play again, but doesn't seem like that, so that's all good. It could be, maybe, if there's any clever people among you, I'm sure all of you are, but if anyone has an idea, if that could be the case, because in the rear, when you lower the rear, the axle shifts to the side, right? Because it's a solid axle with the, how do you call the diagonal bar? I forgot the name for it. But if so, it doesn't really go up and down, but like rotates around this bar. So when you lower it, the axle moves to the side instead of straight up. I wonder if that can affect, I think it can definitely affect my my alignment. So maybe the steering wheel being not straight, there's nothing wrong with the suspension, it's actually just the alignment being off. So I'll throw the wheel back on, drive around a bit more. The car drives really nice now. Similar stiffness now in the front and the back, and I can now play around with the stiffnesses of the dampers a bit. So if we look down here, I hope you can see pretty new Cusco dampers with the self-made dust boots. Seem to be holding up great as well. We got the maybe TRD springs in there. I'm not sure what brand they actually are. But yeah, we're sitting at a way nicer ride height now compared to before. I need to put in some pictures Of course now the car is jacked up, so it's a lot lower on this side than it normally is, but yeah, feels very good, feels very nice, drives a lot more uniform than before. So I think next I'll get the alignment sorted out, and then the car should be driving perfectly. Right then, that's all about this update. See you in the next video. Bye bye.